The National Committee for Religious Freedom is a nonpartisan, faith-based organization that defends the right of every American to live one's faith freely. Its advisory board includes members who are Christian, Hindu, Jewish, Latter-day Saints, and Muslim. Yet J.P. Morgan Chase recently canceled their bank account. Now, we just played a clip at the top of the show of Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO, saying how great America is because we have religious freedom and we have freedom of speech, and that's the fabric of our country that binds us together. Well, apparently it doesn't guide the bank because they're canceling those who are not woke enough according to bank standards. Joining me now to discuss this, former U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom, Sam Brownback. Ambassador, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks, Tony. Always good to join you.
All right, just to establish some facts, the National Committee for Religious Freedom is not just a Christian group. It's made up of people of different faiths, right?
Oh, people of all different faiths, and we would have people on here of no faith at all, too, if they will stand for religious freedom for everybody, everywhere, all the time. That's our basic standard.
So walk us through what happened here.
Well, we started the National Committee for Religious Freedom earlier this year. We opened a bank account with Chase Bank and put funds in it. And then we just started the process of building the organization up, a brand new organization. And we find out less than 6 weeks in it, we go to make another deposit in it. And they said, your bank account's been canceled. We'll be sending you back your funds. That's it. And we're stunned. We're kind of, well, why? What happened? And repeated efforts to contact people we were told, well, the decision was made at corporate level. It's secret. We're not going to tell you about it, and it's irrevocable. And that's it. Goodbye. That was what we got.
All right, I want to play. I made reference to this, but I want to play this clip of the CEO of Chase that testified before the Senate. Play clip number 5, please.
We live in the greatest country in the world, built on foundational principles of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise, the sanctity of the individual, and the promise of equality and opportunity for all. These core values are the fabric that binds us as Americans, where the best of what we are shines through, especially in times of adversity.
A little hypocrisy, maybe?
Well, I don't know. And I don't know why they decided to terminate us. We exist as a group specifically to defend people's right to free exercise, for you to be able to peacefully practice your faith in public or in private, anytime, any place, and whatever the faith or no faith at all. And we have people from all various religions, not all, but many different religions involved with us. So I don't know why we were canceled, but I've heard this happening to other groups. And so we've put out there that, look, this happened to us and we don't know why. We've written to the CEO of Chase Bank, haven't heard back. I hope we will.
Now, they did come back to you and say that they would reconsider, but only if you would provide your donor list and what candidates, if any, you would be supporting.
Yeah. And you're going, that's not required under the law, and you wouldn't require that of other groups. And to my knowledge, you don't require that of other groups. Now, maybe they do, but we, by that point in time, had found another bank and went to another place.
Ambassador, I mean, you've served as the governor of Kansas. You've served in the House of Representatives. You served in the Senate. Are you not concerned by this trend that we see in corporate America that is basically serving as a means of stifling speech in America through this leftist ideology that they appear to be imposing on Americans?
Well, I think these things need to be investigated, Tony, and that's why we've put this forward, why we've started this Chased Away campaign. And I don't know how many groups, but so far it's been dozens that I have personally talked to that have had a similar experience like this, that are faith-based or faith-related organizations. And to me, this is terribly troubling. This is one of the very foundational pieces of human rights that allowed for the freedom of creation of this nation. We had a diverse religious body of people from different faiths coming to this country to form a nation. And one of the core guarantees that they said we've got to give is religious freedom so people can personally practice the faith that they seek. They had left a continent in Europe where they couldn't do that. And they wanted that here, and they fought for it here. And I think we've got to continue to fight for it in all the forums.
Ambassador, we're almost out of time, but very quickly, one final question for you. I mean, banks are heavily regulated. Is this not something that the regulators should look at if they're just arbitrarily canceling, refusing to do business with people based upon the fact that they might be religious or they may speak a message they disagree with?
I think it ought to be looked into. I think this is one of those things that we ought to ask these regulators to consider, because I'm hearing about it way too much. We've got our own example. I never thought it happened to me, but it did. And to this organization, I think clearly these things need to be investigated at the state by state attorney generals and at the federal level.
Yeah, absolutely. Ambassador Sam Brownback, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing this information with us.
Thanks, Tony. Good to see you.